对对，我们可以直接跟你可以都是可以的。
Cameraman.
It's nice, but with camera.
Play rugby for X number of months.
big box in front of you.
Yeah, like you can just keep losing until you.
I wasn't about 20 yards free goal push. Have a guy asking you for fucking If you want to go to So it's weird.
Yes, one painting.
that makeup.
Sky. Wait, no, no.